Hi again, Mark here from TalkingBass.net. This week I'm going to be taking a look at the cool riff from Charles Wright's Express Yourself, which has been sampled loads and loads of times, and it was famously used by NWA for their tune that's also called Express Yourself. This riff is one of many that can be found on the bass riff list over at TalkingBass.net. Just visit the site and go to the practice room page where you can find the list along with a whole bunch of other bass learning resources. If you're watching this on YouTube, just hit the link in the info below. So first of all, let's just have a listen to that bass line played along with the backing track at the original tempo. So now I'll just take you through that bass line step by step. So it's in E flat major and we start on the root note on an E flat. So oddly we start at the high E flat. It's quite weird to start on the, rather than the low E flat. So we start up here at the 8th fret of the G string, E flat with the 4th finger. And then we just play the octave pattern. We have the E flat down here with the 1st finger, 6th fret of the A string, okay? So 8th fret of the G string, 6th fret of the A string. Okay, so just a basic octave pattern, and that's played with the 4th finger and the 1st finger. Then we jump back up to the E flat at the top. And that's going to lead into the next line. Okay. So the next line is G, 5th fret of the D string, A flat, 6th fret of the D string, and B flat, 8th fret of the D string. So 5th fret, 6th fret, 8th fret, all on the D string there. And that's using the fingers 1st, 2nd, and 4th. Okay? So. Okay, so that's that line. Then we come back down. So once you've reached up to the B flat there, we come back down to the G, the 5th fret of the D string, and then down to the E flat, 6th fret of the A string. So all together. The next line starts on an A flat, okay? So that's the 6th fret of the D string. And we're playing that with the 2nd finger. And then I'm going to bar slightly and kind of, pivot, kind of joint bar there, down onto the E flat, 6th fret of the A string. So we're going on the 6th fret here, D string, A string, D string. So we go A flat, E flat, and back to the A flat. I'm using the 2nd finger there for all of that. So then we come down, G, 5th fret of the D string, F, 8th fret of the A string. Then we finish off up there at the B flat there, 8th fret of the D string. So and the tab for all this, the standard notation, is available on TalkingBass.net. Just follow the link below. So there, the fingering again was the 2nd finger, bar, coming back, 1st finger, 4th finger, and then a bar with the 4th finger to get to the B flat. Okay, and again, I'm using that little joint bar there. So I'm not staying on the, I'm not barring them both at the same time. I'm not holding them both down. I'm just rocking on that joint to go between the two. Okay, so all together now. Okay, and finally the last line in there starts on the G, 5th fret of the D string. So we have G, B flat there, the 8th fret of the D string, back to the G, 5th fret there, and then down to the F down at the 8th fret of the A string. So, and I'm using the 1st finger for the G, then the 4th finger for the B flat, back to the G with the 1st finger, and then down to the F with the 4th finger. So. Okay, so all together. that's it. Now, I'm not going to get too far into the rhythm with this because the best way to learn it is to just imitate. You know, just imitate what I'm playing, imitate the original. But the one part that might cause problems is here. So, because we've got those offbeat 16th notes there. So you just have to make sure that they're all consistent. So with a click like that, you've got ba 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 ba. Okay, ba 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 ba. So we've got these offbeat 16th notes, da 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 da, you know, that kind of thing. So again, like I say, I'm not going to get too far into it because, you know, if there's any non-readers watching this or anything like that, it could be a bit confusing. Because when you learn to read, you can, you know, this kind of stuff you might read quite a lot, and you get really good at this kind of rhythm. But for anybody out there that's not as advanced in the rhythm or in the reading, just imitate. That's all you need to do. You know, music is it's for listening to, so just listen to it and just imitate it. That's the best way to get the rhythms. So once you've got that riff under your fingers, just start playing it slowly and gradually build up speed. And I've included some backing tracks for this. So they start off quite slow. So the original is 92 beats per minute, but we can start at 75. So let's just hear how that sounds. So as per usual, I've included backing tracks at several different tempos. So it starts at 75, then 80, 85, and then finally 92. So just work through them at your own pace. You know, don't rush, don't go on to the next one until you've really nailed it at that low tempo. I mean, if you can go at the full tempo straight away, then that's great, but otherwise just work your way through, and eventually you should be able to get through to 92 beats per minute. So here it is at 92. So I'll just give you a quick analysis of the bass line there. It's in E flat major, as I mentioned before, and it uses the chord progression E flat major, A flat major, and B flat major. Okay? So it starts on the E flat major chord, and we just have that basic octave. So that's just the root note. Then it comes up through the arpeggio, but using a passing tone in there. So we've got the fourth there between the third and the fifth. So if you don't know anything about any of this, you know, the chord tones or anything like that, passing notes, I do have several videos devoted to this, and one in particular on chord tones, scales, and chromatics. And I know that sounds complicated, but it's not. It's intended to be simple. So just look through that if you have any problem with this. But yeah, so we work up through the E flat arpeggio, so it goes up to the E flat, then we've got the third, the fourth, and the fifth. So that is all based on the arpeggio of E flat major, the chord we're playing over. Then we get to the A flat, so we're over the A flat chord now. So A flat note, and then we just come down the scale there. So then up to B flat, which is when we hit the B flat chord. So again, we're just getting to the root notes there, we're targeting the root notes. And then that little run at the end is, you know, all within the E flat major scale there. And it's a little bit of a soul-y kind of thing. You get these sixths in there for soul tunes, you know that. And we've got, okay, so that run at the end gives it that kind of soul vibe, okay? So, but basically the whole thing is just working around an E flat major scale, but targeting the notes of those chords as we get to them. So E flat, that's all over the E flat chord, then the A flat chord, then B flat, which is that B flat, which leads us back to the E flat, okay? So that's the kind of structure of it. You know, we're just working around that E flat major scale there, and the E flat major arpeggio, A flat arpeggio, and B flat arpeggio.